What's up, Isabel? You, me, Eloise. So, then, go. Yeah. Dim lights. Wouldn't sing the same thing with Alp. With Alp. Hey, y'all. Yeah, today we are doing some r slash no sleep. Some cozy, well, not cozy stories, but some spoopy stories. We have depleted a fair bit of the short story ones, so thank you for the follow. Yippee, you blue. Thank you so yeah, we have dimmed the lights a bit. Things are a little bit darker to reflect the spoopy stories that we have. The spoopy stories. Ooh. But welcome in. I have a fresh cup of coffee. I didn't go and run and fill it up during the starting song. I would never. It is the last of the pot, so we might make more. Or we might just drink water later on. But for now, we'll start with a story. This morning's been a little interesting. Bartholomew. But overall, it's good. It just got better. It just got better moments ago. Anyway, interesting is the word. Very true. This one is titled, I'm a famous author. I've never written a word of my books. You've seen my books. No, I'm not going to tell you which books nor who I am, so don't ask. I assure you, though, if you're a big reader or even a sort of reader, then you've probably read or at least heard some of my stuff. My stuff in the hypothetical sense of the phrase. As the title says, I was never actually the one who wrote my books. Again, don't ask me who really did, not because of privacy or theft laws or anything. I just don't know. See, I used to be a plumber, of all things, not the most glamorous of professions, but it paid pretty well. Seeing how almost nobody wanted to do it, my dad trained me right out of high school, and pretty soon, I'd saved up enough to move out to my own apartment. A few years later, I decided I may as well sell my soul and get locked into a mortgage, because at least then, the rent money wouldn't be going to waste. The idea was to get a few roommates and have them pay for my house instead, but I'm a private person. It's not that I liked living alone per se, but I never had many friends growing up. I didn't know who to invite to the other rooms, and the idea of strangers moving in with me, I read. And that's what you do when you're 26 and you don't have friends. You read books and pretend you have friends, and when you finish one book and realize you're still alone, you pick up the next one. It's a bit like alcohol. You have to drink another glass in the morning to recover from the damage of the glass the night before. Except, nobody ever applauds you for getting drunk as a hobby, the way they do for reading. If that all sounds like a terribly depressed way to view life, well, it's probably because I was. Am, however you want to say it. We're going to be taking frequent breaks just so I can do sub how you doing because I don't know. Redeems and say hey to Kuma. Kuma. What's up? How you doing? What you got going on today? And we have daily coffee as well. Let's take that sip together, all right? 1, 2, 3. What's up? How you doing? Because I don't know. You are doing a spectacular job at whatever it is that you're doing and whatever it is you have going on. I think you're doing wonderful. I think you're doing great. And as always, very happy to see you here. Very happy you're here with us. Hope your day is going good. And you continue to make everyone, including yourself, very proud. Very proud. I appreciate you never give me a kiss. Thank you. Well, maybe if we get a lot closer, Kuma. Maybe if we get a lot closer. What's up, Annie? Welcome in. Welcome in. Just got back from day 1 at the gym after my break because of the injury. How'd the gym go? How'd it go? This weekend, I decided to actually put my phone down. I may have had a moment of self-reflection where I realized how much time I actually spend on my phone, not doing the things that I should be doing. Exercise is the main one. So I put it away this weekend. Only got on Discord and online like when I was at the laptop. But yeah. It was a good weekend. Actually did a lot of exercise. I have lost some strength, but not nearly as much as I had thought for how long it's been. So it was good. It's kind of weird though being away from everyone. You know what I mean? That wasn't great, but yeah. No kisses is good, not to be rude, but works better. That's fair. I do remember your feelings with certain things. So yeah. It's nothing personal. I do very much enjoy having you here, Kuma. It's always a treat. You usually say something to actually get a genuine laugh out of me or make me smile. So that's always wonderful. You're very much always welcome here and always love seeing you here. We'll go back to the story. I was in what you might call a drought period. One of those times when you read something exceptional the month before and now you can't find anything that compares to it. I tried a few series, but nothing piqued my interest, and I'd all but given up, resorted to watching Friends for the 13th time instead. That's when I found the basement. A basement is a strong word. Crawl space is more accurate. I was pulling up the carpeting in one of the guest rooms during some renovations, and there it was. This flat door with brass handle on the closet floor. Like any new homeowner, I opened it and hopped down. Rot and mildew and something metallic, all bundled into one set. Maybe a cat had died here. It was 4, possibly 4.5 feet tall, and I had to stoop all the way over to shuffle towards. I was barely 10 steps in when it appeared on the ground, a stack of papers. They weren't in any sort of envelope, no rubber band holding them together, or even a staple. About 20 sheets were stacked one on top of another, perfectly wide as if they had come from the printer, even though nobody had been down here for years, judging by the age of the carpet. The passage ended a little after that, so I grabbed the papers, climbed out, and closed the trapdoor. It wasn't until that night, when I finished tearing out the carpet and the emptiness of the house was getting to me, that I actually stopped to read the papers, the story on them. I was enthralled. I didn't move until I finished them, but each word, each sentence gripped me and dragged me in. It was real. That's what it felt like. The story on the paper was reality, and my life was the fake thing made of ink. If only I could keep reading, I could keep living, and I turned the last page. The story stopped mid-sentence. I flipped through the pages over and over, hoping somehow I'd missed a page, that there was more. I reread the entire thing. Then, again, and then again. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I called in sick. I paced the house. I tried watching TV. I tried reading, but nothing worked. I was obsessed. I had to finish the story, but the ending didn't even exist. After 2 days of this, I had enough. I'll bury it, I thought. I'll bury it and my mind will accept it's over. Instead of digging a hole, though, I went back to the crawl space. I would leave it where I found it and try to forget the story. When I went back down, a fresh stack of pages awaited me. That's how it started. New pages would appear until the old ones were read, but that was no problem. I read them with a savage hunger, chapter after chapter. I called in sick to work again, but when my dad tried to come visit, I told him not to, that he'd only get sick. I read for hours and hours, taking trips back down to the crawl space where new pages would await me each time, until finally it was finished. The end. I popped down one more time just to see if there was some sort of an epilogue, but the crawl space was empty. The story was over. For weeks, I had searched online for clues about who had written the story, and nothing came up. I reached out to the past owner of the house. There's a crawl space? They asked me. We never knew. I sat on the book for weeks and weeks, obsessed but resolved to give it up, to put it past me. And eventually, I reached out to some literary agents. One more sip of alcohol to cure the hangover. From what I hear, it takes months and months of waiting to hear back after you reach out to agents. The one I reached out to took days. Each of them requested to read the whole book, and each of them offered me contracts within the week. You're the best writer I've ever signed, said the agent I met with. I didn't correct her. Publishing went much of the same. It should have taken months, but within weeks, I'd signed with a major publishing house. The editing process that should have taken months took days. I can't imagine changing a word of this, my editor told me. You are an amazing writer. I said nothing. Most authors face mediocre success at best, though ones you hear about, those are the exceptions. For every career author, there's 100 authors that never make back their advance. That should have been my expectation, but even then, I knew something was different about this book. Not just the way I'd found it, but the things it did to me, to others. It was enthralling in the way a blind kitten crawling towards a cliff is enthralling. Once you glance at it, you can't look away. Sure enough, it was a bestseller. It won awards. I earned back my advance in weeks. They invited me to talk shows and conventions, but I declined them all. Don't get used to this, I told myself. It was one book. It wasn't even yours. The inflow of money was great, fantastic, really, but I didn't quit my regular job. It wasn't like I'd be writing another book, and eventually, everybody would calm down. They'd forget about my book, and I'd be forgotten. Friends would stop calling, things would go back to normal. And then, one night when I couldn't sleep, after I'd spent hours staring up at the ceiling of my lonely bedroom, I went back down. Some deep, slumbering part of me had already known they'd be there, the new pages. That's how it had worked the first time, after all. I had to read the pages for new ones to appear. It made sense. I would have to publish the last book for a new one to appear. I read the new chapters. I visited the crawl space 10 more times that night until I'd finished the whole thing. And the next day, I quit my job. And so began my new life. I timed it purposefully. Every 6 to 8 months, I would submit a new manuscript, and every 6 months, I would take a trip back down to the cellar. Each book release shot me back up to the top of the bestsellers list. Money rolled in steadily, more than what I knew to do with. It wasn't like I was going to buy a new house. No, that much was obvious. I would live where I did until I died because I needed to. For my career, I told myself, I have to stay here for my career. And even then, though, I think I knew. I wasn't staying there to support my lifestyle. It was a nice perk. Being rich certainly had its benefits, but it was about the books. It was always about the books. I reread them constantly. But what else was there to do? The hours most writers take to write was free time for me. Might as well read, reread, consume. At first, let's see. Gym went real nice. Did some exercises. Decided to add swimming as cardio as a new addition to the exercise routine. That's a good idea, Annie. I wish I had a pool closer by. It's good exercise. It's fun. It's when I support this. You did great, buddy, and you're doing great. The only problem is that the whole routine with the commute takes around 2.5 hours, which I consider a lot. Yes, like personally, the money that it costs to go to a gym, I'm never gonna go realistically, but I do have like a lot of free weights and stuff like that, laying around. So I just I'll kind of alternate depending on how my schedule is, because sometimes I just completely switch things up. Like the grease the groove type thing, where if you're walking by it, or every time a commercial comes on, you do rada of something, and before you know it, it's definitely not as good as spending 1 to 2 hours sitting there and exercising constantly, but it's better than what I was doing, which for the last couple of weeks or a few weeks was literally nothing. But I'm proud of you, man. That's really good. And what's up, Amy? You have coffee with me? Same with Ivy? Let's go. Let's have a sip together. Together. 1, 2, 3. It's the last cup. I'm drinking it a little bit too greedily. But also, hi, Ivy and Emmy. Been a while? Yeah, and Orca. What's up? I know I told you this last time, Orca, but your name it reminds me of Orca, the Azure Sea from .hack. So, great job. Wonderful, wonderful name choice. I think I watched a movie that had the same idea as the story. It was like making a deal with the devil to make great books or something like that. I tried going to a new gym that had a pool that was further away, but I learned they have a student discount too. Hey, that's good. Nice. Also, Kuma, I would know the movie. I don't really watch a lot of movies. Oh no. You only really need free weights if you want to. It just takes a bit longer usually. I have the easy curl bar, and then just dumbbells and kettlebells and mace bells. We have I got Eggy to get a mace bell, because she doesn't like to exercise, but I'm hoping that for that one it makes exercise a little bit more fun, and it kind of works other muscles and stabilizer stuff. So hoping it's something that she enjoys. But the one that she got was 7 pounds, so it's significantly shorter as well, so you can actually use it indoors. So I've been watching TV and doing like 180s and 360s and stuff like that. Like the squats and the little, what do they call them, ballistic curls. It's nice. It's like cardio without having to do cardio, because I hate cardio. I hate cardio so much. But this is like a fun, a better, for me, a better way to do it. I don't remember the movie theater. I'm a lazy movie watcher. Yeah. I've kind of got back into anime a little bit. I saw the new season of Solo Leveling. So cool. Like, I don't know how to phrase this without spoiling it. So like Dragon Ball Z, right? Where like the Kamehameha wave was like the ultimate attack, and like nothing could top it. Like it would destroy the world if it was like fired wrong or something like that. This is going off childhood memory too, so don't quote me on this. But then like now Kamehameha is like nothing. You know what I mean? I was very worried it was gonna go to that lane, and it didn't. It didn't. So that's cool. That's cool. So I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna go into detail. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. You can lift Eggy or Sue once in a while. I do lift Eggy, and I can definitely lift Sue. Oh. I read the full manhwa. I heard a lot of people were a bit disappointed with the anime a bit. I heard it was different. I heard the anime was different than, like, they took a different route or something. I liked it. But also, like, I'm one of those people, like, I'm fairly easy to please with anime. If it's like mediocre, I'm gonna like it probably. Like Darling in the Franxx, loved it. I loved it until the end. Yeah. I don't know, people. I got pooped on for that one. People didn't like that. R-forming the whole anime. You haven't watched it yourself? It's definitely worth a watch. I'll say like the Korean art style took a second for me to kind of adjust to. Like how they do like the really thin faces, I guess, if that makes sense. I was like, oh no. But yeah, coming back for season 2, I didn't even flinch. Yeah. All right, Flower Cow. Let's have a sip of coffee together. 1, 2, 3. You've heard a lot of good things about Solo Leveling. If you're somebody like me who hasn't read the manhwa, you probably won't be disappointed. So, yeah, that's worth a watch. Darling in the Franxx. You're the only one who likes it. That's fair. And you know what? That's okay. I can live with being the person who bears an unpopular opinion, because it's mine, and that makes it. That's it. It just makes it mine. It makes it my burden to carry. Ooh. I started watching Wolf's Rain for the first time. It's something I've been meaning to watch for like 15 years. What is that about? That sounds interesting. It sounds familiar, and I don't know why. No way, like Darling in the Franxx besides me. I finally found someone. Listen, I loved it. I think, like, I don't know, like maybe red flags. Maybe red flags here. But it kind of reminded me of a little bit, both characters, and like the whole, like, I don't know, the red flag stuff, and then like the growing together thing. And I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone, but I loved it. It resonated with me until the end. Like, once the end happened, it was just bad. But besides that, it was really enjoyable. I liked it a lot. Yeah. Oh Lord, record first time here for the actual ASMR. Oh no. Is ASMR your thing? Oh, is this like... what is this? Just so you know, what we do here is just kind of read stories and hang out and chat in between them. Today we're doing some spoopy stories. Well, Annie, I gotta say, you're the first. You're the first that I've seen that likes it as well. So, yay. I got a friend who likes the same anime that always gets pooped on as I do, and that's lovely. A lot of sadness, wolves. That's my synopsis. A lot of sadness and wolves, brother. But a lot of people absolutely love it. It's like an alternative reality thing. Okay. Interesting. I do like ASMR, yes. I was here for the guitar last time. Yeah, that was a one-off stream. We don't generally do that, but it seemed like the thing to do that day. I was hanging out with the girls in Discord and playing guitar, and I'm like, wait, I gotta stream soon. Why don't I just stream this? This is what I want to do today on the gaming channel. I've been toying with the idea sometime this week of trying to just kind of do what I do with them and write a song from scratch. It's a painful process to listen to a witness, but we'll see if I feel like writing music. My fingers are still blistering. They've gone down a little bit. They're just kind of red and sore now. But I played forever. Played forever that day. Trust me, Kuma, it's not. It's really not. It's literally like me struggling and playing like a rhythm, or like just a mixture of like rhythm and lead riffs until I get something like, okay, this is a ballpark idea. Now let's run with it and see what happens. It usually gets real weird. But when I was working on it the other day, it was actually pretty cool. There's this part that but the other day, it was literally yesterday with Eloise. But like, there's this part where it gets like, it's a cool idea, a cool concept, but I really don't like the drum track that I picked for it. Anyway, I'm not gonna ramble about music. I might do that sometime on the Nova channel though. I've really been craving to write a song lately, just words though. I can't play anything else in my voice. Barely even that. Listen, I feel you. I am not a great vocalist at all. I can kind of do metal, but singing, not a strong suit. I'll still do it sometimes, just because it's like, I don't know, I'm starting to kind of enjoy it sometimes, if I can get it right. But yeah, sometimes you just want to make music, and you don't have to learn. You don't have to know how to play anything. And the great thing is, you can always learn how to play things if you have enough time. I've I generally play guitar, right? But I very much feel more at home on like the bass, or if we're doing like more high-pitched instruments, the balalaika is perfect for me, because like it's just 3 strings, so you can look like you're shredding on the balalaika, but be just like really mediocre. I love it. I would like to get a new one, like an actual one. I got like a cheap Pakistani one that it did the job, but like I wanted to get like a real one, you know? You have to get ready for work, but your voice is so soothing. I'm happy you like it. And hope to see you again, and have a good day at work, Flower Cow. Agree. Also, dancing is nice. My voice doesn't want to work. Just enjoy music in some way. I can't dance. I'm not a good dancer. Like I like slow dancing actually. Like not like anything fancy, but just like your kind of regular slow dance, you know? Those are really nice. Those those are very emotional. But like, you know, like club dancing, that's not my thing. Even if I have some drinks, it's not not my thing. Years and years ago, me, Aggie, and my best buddy have went to a club, and yeah, it was okay. You know what? I might retract that statement. When we went to the anime convention, they had like a little rave in the basement, and actually, there was like a little dance train. That was fun to hop in and do that. I really enjoyed that. So maybe in time and with age, my opinion on dancing may have changed. We'll see. We'll see next year when we go back. Told everyone we gotta like bring our own. Well, I didn't tell them. We've collectively decided that we're gonna bring our own drinks, and yeah, just do it that way. That way it's a little bit cheaper, and actually go fully awake and fully energized to the rave. It should be fun. I believe so, Sue. I believe so. Slow dancing. What's up, kitten? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's have some coffee. 1, 2, 3. It was the last cup, so it's like a little bit burnt. Just a little bit. I don't want to go to work at the best of times. Club dancing is interesting. Yeah, I guess. I just love to act a fool on the dance floor. I'd want to see that, Kuma. It sounds fun. You seem like a fun person. If people are there with me with the same attitude, I think maybe that's what made it fun during the rave. I had the Chozo cosplay on. So I'm like, yeah, I know I look cute as hell. I got the confidence to be a little goof. Let's go. It was really fun. That's the thing. That's actually fun. Most people just shake in place though. Don't try to throw any moves. Like, listen, I don't know. It was just fun to like, at one point, me and the boys would just kind of jumping in place and being silly and stuff. It was a lot of fun, man. I have a good haircut. I cut mine this weekend. And welcome in. Nyahoy. Welcome in. Ooh, good luck with the haircut. Good. Finally he admits it. What, Eloise? What? Oh no. Okay. Let me pop my neck. You can find at least one person to be a fool with is fun. We're gonna get back to the story. There's not too much left, so we're gonna finish it up, and then I will get back to chat. And any redeems that you guys have, feel free to do them now. I'll keep an eye out, try to keep an eye out for them. And if I miss it, just let me know. So where we're at for the new people coming in, for this story, this guy is a famous author, but he's never written his own books. In fact, he's recently moved into this home and has found like sort of crawl space in the basement or something like that, where there's random pages that appear, and they are parts of stories. And after he finishes them, he goes back down. There's more pages, and he's eventually started publishing them. And now he's a famous author. So I reread them constantly. What else was there to do? The hours most writers take to write was free time for me. Might as well read, reread, consume. At first, I would see how long I could go without picking up one of my books. 1 day, 2, 3. That was the limit, I discovered. By day 3, my palms would get sweaty and my stomach would start cramping. Eventually, I'd stop resisting. Reading was all I did with my time. I quit all of the books. I did try to read them, but none of them satisfied me. They were flat, like the 2D version of the 3D stories the Crosby space gave me. They were the lotus flowers from the Greek myths. Once you try one, regular food could never taste the same. At least it's just me, I told myself, my one small comfort. I could fade away, give in, and that was all right. Nobody else would be harmed. Besides my dad, nobody cared about me. I wasn't hurting anybody. I convinced myself that was the truth. I really believed the books were just affecting me. Until my first book signing. I'm not entirely sure what convinced me to do it. Maybe it was my agent or publisher, who both pestered me to do one for years. Partially, it was due to one of the rare recovery periods where I was actively trying to stop reading, always to little success. But I did one, my very first ever book signing. The bookstore filled up. Literally, they were turning people away. Hundreds showed up to meet me, the false author of the best-selling books. They were so excited to meet me. I saw the anticipation as I did a reading. I was almost looking forward to the book signing, despite the hours-long line. "Yours are my favorite books," one woman told me. "These are what got me into reading," said another. "They're the only thing I read now." "Glad to hear it," I said, chuckling as I signed. I looked up. The man wasn't smiling. "I'm not," he said, and walked away. I started noticing it then, the jittery look in their eyes, the way people desperately clutched their copies of my books. Not in a loving way, not like a child clinging to a teddy bear, more like victims of the Titanic hanging from the rails as it tipped. "What else do you read?" I asked a teenager and her father. The teenager shook her head. "Nothing. Why would I?" To another fan holding a battered copy, I asked, "How many times have you read it?" She laughed nervously. I don't know. I can't remember." She burst into tears. "I can't stop. Why can I stop?" Almost nobody reacted as she tore out of the bookstore sobbing. It wasn't all of them. That frantic obsession in me, their simultaneous loathing and love for the books. Some of them outright scowled at me like they hadn't wanted to come, but hadn't been able to resist. It was the very last woman in line who scared me the most. She didn't even look up at me. She stared down at the book in her hands, the very first one I had ever published. She never responded to my questions. She never put it down, and I recognized the cover. It was the first edition of my first book, which meant she had been one of the earliest people to ever pick me up. Her eyes were bloodshot. Her teeth were falling out like she couldn't spare the time to brush them, and her skin was a sickly yellow. I never did another book signing. It gets worse as time goes on. That's what I've realized. The longer you read them, the more dependent you are on them. I've tried to stop publishing. Of course I have, a dozen times. Look at what my books are doing to people. Look at what they're continuing to do. Even if I could stop, though, it wouldn't matter. Once you've tasted the lotus petal, you could never go back. No one I've talked to has been able to quit once they've read something from the crawl space. All those people at the book signing, all my thousands and thousands of readers, it's too late for them. The way it's too late for me. My hair falls off in clumps now. My skin is yellow and my teeth, nearly all of them are gone. And so I continue, year after year, climbing down through that trapdoor, sending off my manuscripts to the publisher. I can't stop. I don't want to anymore. It's easier just to give in, sip by sip. It's almost a relief to grab the pages the crawl space gives me and pump them out into the world. That's the only way I get more of them. And it's not like I can write my own stories. This entire time, I have never written a word myself. Not one. Not even these ones. Ooh. I liked it. It was a pretty good story. Normally, like, it takes a few of them to actually get one that's like, huh. But yeah, that's pretty good. Spoopy, indeed, Kuma. Very well put. Very well put. What a good Kuma. Let's find another one though. Is it picking up my cracks? I'll probably take a shower after this. Yeah. Scratchies? Okay. Thank you, Eloise. I need to have my brush so I can brush it back. Thank you for the scratchies too, Flower Cow. And Emmy. Okay. We're eventually going to update this. But for now, hopefully you can hear it. I don't know if it'll register, but hand here. Hand here. And a little forehead kiss. Just for you. Let's see. You're very welcome. Here's a silly titled one. Now it's quite long. And it leads to another story. We won't do that one. Something about like my grandma thought the rules were fake, but then I broke one. Ooh. I just had the worst idea, which is to get like a ghost, like PNG or something. Be a ghost tuber. Isn't this a lovely idea? Halloween team should be an ooh. Spooky. Yeah. Yeah, maybe if I can remember that, Annie, sure. We'll definitely have that as a Halloween routine. It sounds cute and so terrifying. Just like me, right? Yeah. Hey y'all. Wait. Okay, alright. So you know how like the thank you, me. But you know how like the VTubers will do like the VTuber face reveals will be like, oh, this is my model, and then oh, this is me. But definitely do like with me with tofu. Be like cute, and then the face reveal of me and be like, terrifying. Enjoy your food. Spoopy pants. Thanks, Kuma. Oh, someone sure I love being called Spoopy Pants. Oh, lovely. You enjoy your food, okay? Yeah, bye. Nope. It's fine. Goodbye, Kuma. Okay, Yomi. Thank you. Thank you, Bonnie. Biani. Does the scar on your face have lore? No. I just liked it. I thought it was... The model has like a bunch of different presets. So like I'm just gonna... Like I think it came with like 3 or 4 different outfits. Oh, fuck. Ooh. I forgot that hotkey does something, so my bad. But anyway, I don't know if you saw it, but it just like has a bunch of, it's a customizable model, but one of the things that you can do is like the blood splatter, so that's actually realistically what it is. But it kind of reminded me of Todoroki, I think is his name from My Hero. So I just like put the opacity, like just made it like very faint, but I liked it. I thought it was a nice little personality thing. Yeah. But it's, the model gets weird, but we're not using it for weird purposes because we're just a cute, happy little guy. I think it also comes with like a dog. Or like some other animals too. It's definitely like really good value. We 110% are here. 90% are here, unless we're doing like a guitar stream. Unless we're doing something like that's not what we normally do. That's the only time I'll allow myself to be a little bit unhinged. But not extremely. But yeah, 90% say so. That's what we're about. Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay. Let me take one more sip and we'll start. Karaoke was so say so. I'll never forget it. And that's, the beauty of having events like that. Where the VOD's deleted, and it's a once in a lifetime event, which is a very serious way to say something, label something so insignificant, but be safe, Eloise. Be safe. The story is called Oops. I walked into my boyfriend, and his face was unplugged. Why are you bunking me, so? It was just outlets. Instead of high cheekbones, brown eyes, and a cute puckered mouth, there was a completely flat metallic surface full of holes. My boyfriend's face looked like a wall fixture or maybe the back of a TV, and I screamed and staggered against the bathroom towel rack. Oh, Beth, God. My boyfriend's voice came through a tiny speaker on his outlet face. He grabbed a fleshy oval he was drying in the sink and pressed it against his head. I could hear it snap and click as he thumbed his cheeks. Within seconds, his face was attached like normal, or at least as normal as it could appear after such a horrific reveal. I'm sorry you had to see me like that. I turned and fled, and out of instinct more than anything, I ran to our kitchen and grabbed a knife. The cold handle stayed glued to my palm. Beth, Beth, calm down, please. My boyfriend emerged with outstretched, cautious hands. No need to overreact. He stayed away from the glint of my knife. Where's Tim? I said, looking right into my boyfriend's eyes. What did you do with Tim? Beth, relax. I am Tim. I've always had this. He gestured behind his jawbones. You could see little divots where his face had just connected, little divots I'd always thought were just some old acne scars. I'm really sorry. I should have told you sooner. I should have told you as soon as I found out. What was he talking about? Found out what? That I'm not technically, that I'm not fully organic. The words froze me in place. Out of all the possible phrases he could have uttered, I really did not like the sound of not fully organic. He nodded wordlessly several times. I know it's awkward. I should have just told you sooner. But as you might guess, it's not exactly the easiest thing to share. I stared for a long moment at this hunched-over, wincing, apologetic person who claimed to be my boyfriend. I pointed at him with a knife. Explain. I will, but first, why don't we put the blade away? Let's calm ourselves. Let's sit down. You sit down. Although visibly a little frightened of my knife, he looked and behaved as Tim always did. His eyes still had the same shine. His lips still curled and puckered in that typical Tim way. If I hadn't seen him faceless a moment ago, I wouldn't have doubted his earnestness for a second. But I had seen him faceless, and now a primal guttural impulse told me I couldn't trust him. He has a plug face. He has a plug face. I'll go sit down. Tim raised his hands cooperatively. He grabbed one of our fold-out chairs and seated himself in the far end of our living room. Here, I'll sit here and give you lots of space. I unlocked the door to our apartment and stood by the front entrance. My hand still clutched the small paring knife in his direction. It's a very warranted reaction, Tim said. I get it. I truly do. But it doesn't have to be this uncomfortable, Beth. I'm not a monster. I promise. I'm still the same me. I'm not going to hurt you. I aimed the stainless steel at him without quivering. Just explain. He gave a big, long inhale, followed by an even longer sigh, as if doing so could somehow deflate the intensity of the situation. Okay, I'll try my best to explain. It's a whole lot I've uncovered over the last while, and I really don't know where to begin. But I'll start with the basics. First of all, we aren't real. I scoffed. I couldn't help myself. We? Well, I don't fully know about you yet, and I suspect you're artificial as well, but definitely me. I have fully confirmed that I am fake. Goosebumps ran down my neck. With my free hand, I touched the area behind my jawline. I couldn't feel any indents. I've never had any indents there. A fake? I asked. A fake. A null. I'm not a real living person. I've been programmed with just enough memories to make it feel like I'm a carpenter in my early 30s, but really, I'm just background filler, some sort of synthetic bioroid. Every word he said coiled a wire in my stomach. There's a couple others I discovered online. Tim pulled out his phone. Fakes, I mean. Their situations are similar to ours. It's always a young couple sharing a brand new apartment, one they can't possibly afford. We let the word hang. What do you mean? I said. We can afford our apartment. Beth, I have never worked a day in my life. What are you talking about? Tim steepled his hands and brought them over his face. I've set GoPros in my clothing. I've recorded where I've gone. After I put on my overalls and wave goodbye to you, I take an elevator to our garage, but instead of going to P1 where our car is parked, I actually go down to P4 and lock myself up inside a locker. What? Something overrides my consciousness, and I sleep standing for hours. I am talking like a full 8-hour workday plus some buffer for any fictional traffic. Then my memory is wiped. What? My memory is wiped and replaced with a false memory of having worked in some construction yard with my crew. And then that's what I relate to you when I return home. That's all I can remember. It's as simple as that. The goosebumps on my neck would not relent. That can't be real. Can't be real. He stood up from his chair and pointed at the sides of his head. My whole face comes off, Beth. I squeezed my eyes closed and bit my tongue. I bit harder and harder, praying that it could wake me up out of this impossibility, but there was nothing to wake up from. Do you want me to show you again? Tim asked. No, I said. Please don't. I don't want to see it. Of course you don't. It's disturbing. I know. I'm a clockwork non-human who's been given the illusion of life. It's messed up. When I opened my eyes again, Tim was sitting again with his head in his palms, clutching at tufts of his hair. And do you know why they built us? Do you know why we exist? His voice turned shrill. I swallowed a warm wad of copper and realized my teeth had punctured my tongue. I unclenched my jaw. It's for decor. We exist to drive up the value of the condominiums in the building. We exist to make something look popular, normal, and safe. We're background bioroid actors in a living advertisement. I finally loosened my grip and set the knife by the front entrance. I grabbed my jacket. I don't know what you are, but I am not decor. I'm normal, I said. My face doesn't come off. Tim lifted his hands from his head from his hands and looked at me cynically. Beth, have you ever filmed yourself leaving the house? I leave the house all the time. I know it feels that way, but have you ever actually filmed yourself? We both went on a walk this morning. Tim nodded. And that's the only time. The only time we actually leave is when we walk through the neighborhood. And do you know why? I gave a small shake of my head and I put on my scarf. To endorse the ambience of this gentrified hellhole. We're animated mannequins looping on false memories and false lives. We're part of a glorified screensaver. That is not true. I opened the door and got ready to leave. I walk for my knee. I take walks close by because my physiotherapist said it's a good idea for my knee. I don't walk because I'm decor. You could justify it however you want, Beth. Tim crossed from his chair. But chances are that every physio appointment, every evening out with friends, every memory of the mall is just an implant in your head. You're wrong, and my face does not come off. Tim stood with his arms at his side. He smiled a little. It was like he was glad that I was so stubborn. Are you sure about that? Yes. I prodded behind my cheeks, looking for any ridges. You can reach behind your jaw all you want, Tim said, but that doesn't mean anything. You could be a totally different model than me. A different model? Let me check behind your head. What? Some fakes have better seams, but there's always a particular indent in the back of the head. He came over in slow, steady advances. Stop. I grabbed the knife again. You are not coming any closer. He paused, held up his hands. I could show you with a mirror, or take pictures with my phone to be sure. I don't trust you, Tim, or whatever you are. His face saddened. I swear, Beth, as weird as it sounds, I'm telling the truth. I wish it were different. You have to believe me. I didn't believe him. Or maybe I didn't want to believe him. Or maybe after seeing the person detach their own face, I just couldn't have faith in anything that they'd ever say again. I'm going to leave, Tim. I'm staying somewhere else tonight. He shook his head. A hotel won't do anything. They want you to stay at a hotel. You'll make their hotel look good. I'm not telling you where I'm staying. He laughed in an exasperated, incredulous laugh. Seriously, Beth, have you ever really looked at yourself in the mirror? We are the perfect, most banal-looking couple to ever grace this yuppified enclave. We're robots, owned by a Strata Corporation to maintain the vibe. Think about it. What do you do at home all day? I didn't want to think about it. I walked out of the door holding the knife, watching Tim the whole time, daring him to follow me. He didn't. I left down the emergency staircase. It was an ugly breakup. I didn't want to see him when I gathered my things, so I only collected my stuff during his work hours. He kept texting me more pictures of the seams along his face. He kept explaining how all of our friends were perpetually on vacation, which is why our whole social life exists only via screens. Because it's an elaborate orchestration to make us think we're real people, when we're really just robots designed to walk around and look nice. I called him crazy. I convinced myself that the plug face encounter in the bathroom was a hallucination. His conspiratorial texts and calls had got to me and made me misremember things. That's all it was. The whole plug face episode was a fabrication. He was just going crazy and trying to drag me down with him, but I was not going along for the ride. After many heated exchanges, I eventually told him as politely as I could to screw off. I blocked him across all of my messaging apps. 5 months later, he got a new phone number. He sent one last flurry of texts. Apparently, the Strata Corporation was going to decommission its existence. They were finally going to sell our old flat to an actual human couple. My simulation has served its purpose. And soon, I'm going to be stored away in that P4 locker indefinitely. I messaged back saying, dude, knock this off and move on with your life. You're not a robot. Let go of this delusion. Seek help. I texted him with a list of mental health resources available online and blocked him yet again. Just because he was having trouble controlling his mania didn't mean that he had the right to spill it onto me. These days, I'm feeling much happier. I found a new man and reset myself in a completely different part of the city. We live in one of those brand new towers downtown. Our flat is super spacious with quick routes to all nearby amenities. It's something I could have never been able to afford with Tim. Tyler is a plumber with his own business who has his priorities straight. He's letting me take all the time I need to adjust to the neighborhood. I'm spending most of my days sending resumes at home and chatting with Kiera and Stacy, who are currently in Barcelona. When they get back, we're going to arrange an epic girls' night out. Life is so much better here, so much more peaceful. Tyler holds my hand as we take our nightly walks around our place, and my favorite part is when we cross beneath the long waterfall by the front entrance. Beneath the waterfall, the world appears like this shining, shimmering silhouette, waiting to reveal its magic. It's so beautiful. I liked it. That was a good story. Also, welcome in, Ilari? Ari? I don't know how to say your name. But Nyahoy. Welcome in. Oof. Big stretch. Big stretch. This coffee's starting to get cold. Room temperature. Thank you so. Thank you so. Let's see, we'll try to find some more stories. Nya, nya, nya. Nya, nya, nya. Nya, 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 nya. Nya, nya, nya. Nya, 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 nya. Nya. Nya, 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 nya. Nya, nya. Nya, 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 nya. Nya. Well, this seems interesting. Okay, Annie. I'll hum for a little bit longer. Do you want me to turn the music up a little bit? Because I will definitely hum to the music. I'll do that. does sound routine, but it's me. Was it you purring? Does it really so? Nice. I don't know what direction the song is going in though. So, oh no. You know. That's very, very sweet of you. It's very sweet, so. I do love listening to you sing too. You're much better. Oh, stop. Okay. That's some humming. We did some humming. Let's get the sound back. Alright. Let's see. This one seemed interesting. It's a bit long, so we will definitely chat and whatever else in between. Let me check really, really quickly to see if I have any more scripts. I don't think I do, but I don't like to read too much on days where I have a lot of work to do. Excuse me. And no, I'm good for now. Thank you, lady. Thank you. Anyway, let me move my mic a little bit. Okay, sorry. The name of the story is My Friend Showed Me a New Dating App for Lonely People. There are some very strange rules in the terms and conditions. I don't get it. I swirled my straw around my iced pecan latte, not the manliest drink choice. But Anya had turned me on to them, and how could I go back to whatever I had ordered before? I would never be the same. Yeah, Josh, Anya chimed in, leaning back in a chair almost precariously, the front legs tilting off the ground. Me neither. Looks like Grinder. I snorted. Yeah, kinda does look like Grinder. How would you even know that, Cooper? I mean, I've seen what Grinder looks like. Have you ever seen what Grinder looks like? My head whipped between them, searching for understanding in Joshua's face and sympathy in Amya's. I found only laughter. I crossed my arms and sulked. Guys, I know it's weird, Josh finally continued. He benched his baseball hat by the bill and spun it around so it was backwards, leaning forward and holding out his phone for us to look at. Doing that was almost a nervous tic for him. It had to be 50 times a day that he rotated his hat like that when he was wearing one, just to rotate it back again. And sometimes I joked he was going to make his hair curly like that. I don't even know who made this. Jackson said they found it on the dark web or something. Your cousin, Jackson? You're not really falling for that, are you? Anya smirked at him, leaning on her elbows and chewing on her straw. He's definitely messing with you. He just glared at her and kept going on. Some people think it's like for a promotion for a movie or something. Some people think the people on here are dead. Dead like ghosts or something. He shrugged loosely, his face blank. I don't know. There's just a lot of theories. There could also just be bots or something. So, what's the point in using this? I chimed in, slurping loudly at the last hints of liquid in my cup. I got a couple of dirty looks from some old ladies at the table next to us and smiled apologetically. You're just making it sound sketchy. Josh grinned, coming alive. He rotated his hat again and leaned closer, like he was going to tell us a juicy secret. Amia and I glanced at each other. People are finding love, apparently, he yelled. Like on the app with the ghost/bots? He shook his head. No, not exactly. I think the point of the app is that it figures out your type or something, and then you just find someone exactly like that. They're drawn to you or something. So, now this is some tarot card universe soulmate bull. Amia always joked like this, but I could tell she was getting legitimately a little frustrated with him. I didn't blame her. Her emotions had been all over the place lately since she and Sean broke up. I felt guilty for feeling a little relieved that they finally ended it, considering it meant that she had more time to hang out with us, because I knew she was having a horrible time with him. They had been together for 2 years. Things like that were a big deal. I, on the other hand, hadn't had a girlfriend in years. I hadn't been on one date longer than I wanted to admit, and even if I could get a date, I didn't think I'd know what to do with the opportunity. I thought college would be a constant party where I was meeting girls left and right, but so far I had been sorely mistaken. I couldn't lie that Josh was saying sounded appealing in theory. If it was real, that was, which it wasn't. Listen, Josh said, offering a crooked smile. I know it sounds insane. It definitely is insane. I haven't even gotten to the weirdest part yet. What's the weirdest part then, Josh? She brushed some dark brown curls away from her eyes, scowling at her own iced latte. Spit it out. Check this out. He held his phone out again, and Amia and I both leaned in to look. It was the same screen he had showed us before, the one that looked a little bit like Grindr, with a black background, and the only thing on this page were a list of open chats. He tapped on a little question mark in the top right corner, and that's when the terms and conditions popped up. Terms and conditions. Number 1. If someone messages you that you would like to speak with, you must reply within 10 minutes of receiving the message. Number 2. If you do not wish to speak to someone, you must repeat this phrase word for word. Thank you for your interest, but I am not open at this time. I wish you good luck with finding what you want. Number 3. If you wish to stop speaking to someone, repeat the phrase above. Number 4. If someone continues messaging you after you've said the phrase above, get to the high ground, lock all doors and windows, and contact customer support immediately. Delete the app. Do not re-download the app. Number 5. Do not message anyone between 12 and 6 a.m. 6. Always say goodnight before you go to sleep. 7. Always say good morning as soon as you wake up. Number 8. Always be polite. Number 9. Do not send more than one message at a time. Number 10. Do not offer them anything to eat. Number 11. Do not agree to meet up with anyone on the app. Do not tell them where you are, even if they say they already know. Do not invite them into your home. Number 12. If they are near your home, get to the high ground. Anakin. Lock all doors and windows and contact customer support immediately. Delete the app. Do not re-download the app. Number 13. Do not let them trick you. They will try. Number 14. We are not responsible for any negative consequences of using the app. What's up, Jumbus? How you doing today, buddy? Is this a horror story? Yes, this is, that's why everything's a little bit darker today. We're doing, spooky stories, finally. I just stared at the page for a long time. I didn't realize that it's horse day. Yeah, I just decided to randomly do it. I think we're probably going to maybe make it a thing. Maybe dedicate a day or two to it during the week. I'm not sold on it yet. But I remember some of you guys mentioning that you'd want to see like cozy games and things like that. So I'm thinking maybe like Friday would be a good day for that. Or if I feel like, jamming out or something again, I can maybe do something a little bit more chill, like lo-fi, that'll kind of mesh with the channel a little bit better than just going off and whatever that was the other day. My little customer was that if they you up message, throw your phone to the wall. Oh no, why? Let's get back to the story. I just stared at the page for a long time, both of our eyes skimming over the words once, twice, 3 times. Amia finally leaned back, rubbing at her face with the palms of her hands. This has to be a joke. Josh shrugged, setting his phone down. It's crazy, I know. Why, Chumpus? Did you agree to all that? I asked him. I felt a little uneasy, my stomach churning. The pecan latte wasn't sitting well anymore. Have you been using this? He shrugged again, now looking a little bit embarrassed. Listen, I know it sounds insane, but it's just for fun. I just want to see this real. Jackson met this girl like a week after using the app for the first time, and I met her. And she's really normal and nice. I find that hard to believe. Amia's face was red, and she kept nervously tucking her hair behind her ears. Look, if you're messing with me, like, if you're both in on this is a really messed up prank to pull on me right now. Oh, yeah. Okay. I get it. I see Chumbus. I think it would just depend on who's sending you that text. Nyahoy. Welcome in, Jashin. Welcome in. Oh, when Netflix and chill will make you throw your phone at the wall. Well, I'm assuming Chumbus here is a person of culture, and maybe that's just not even the best term to use at all. But yeah, that they want something serious, profound. They want a good connection. For a lot of people, it's a trick. Annie, it turns out I was very wrong. A person of culture is a wild statement. No, both Josh and I cried out at the same time, getting a couple more weird looks. No, yeah, this is not a prank, Josh finished. I promise, it's just something weird I found, and I wanted to tell you guys about it. Whatever, she huffed, pushing to her feet and slinging her bag over her shoulder. Just whatever. I don't feel good. I'll talk to you guys later. Yeah. I trailed off as she slammed her half-empty cup into the trash and briskly strode towards the door. Josh and I shared a look. Dude, I swear, I wasn't trying to mess with her, he said after a while, searching my face to gauge my belief in him. I nodded, wiping my sweaty palms off my jeans. I know. It's okay. She just isn't doing well right now. I hesitated for a long moment, chewing on the bottom of my lip before I spoke again. Jackson really met someone? I downloaded the app that night. I wasn't proud of it, but my curiosity became stronger than my uneasiness, and as remembering as it was to admit, or embarrassing as it was to admit, I was getting desperate. I just wanted someone I wanted to meet someone nice and pretty that I could go places with, and I wasn't having any luck elsewhere. I considered it a win-win. If this app was some sort of prank, then we could get a good laugh out of it, and if it wasn't, that meant it was real. Josh had sent the link to our group chat with Amya, and she immediately responded by reacting to the message with a thumbs down. That meant that even if she was still a little peeved, at the very least she wasn't upset anymore. It was a good sign. I pressed on the link and then agreed to download, crossing my fingers and praying for no horrible virus. This app was really incredibly bare bones. Nothing but a messaging screen, which was empty so far in my case. There wasn't anything else to look at, other than the terms and conditions, which I read again. No one to swipe on, no bios to read, nothing. Welcome back, Eloise. Eloise. This person has some high standards. I was brushing my teeth when I got my first message. My phone buzzed, and I nearly choked on my toothpaste when I read the notification. Noel. Hello, handsome. For some reason, the smiley emoticon unnerved me. I checked the time. 11:30 p.m., so I was fine on that rule. I pressed on the message and her profile popped up. There was no bio, just a name and a picture to look at. I studied it closely, my eyebrows cinching together. The picture was of a girl, looking definitely somewhere close to my age. She had shoulder-length curly dark hair and dark skin, and she was posing in a yellow field, wearing a flowery dress. It looked normal to me at first, but the closer I looked, the more off it felt. Her smile looked stiff, almost like it was painted on, and something about her eyes wasn't quite right. Her pupils looked strange, but I couldn't put my finger exactly on how. Something about that picture filled me with a sense of dread that I could not fully place either. I panicked, and I checked the terms and conditions again right before composing my message before the 10 minutes could pass, just in case. Culper, thank you for your interest, but I am not open at this time. I wish you luck in finding what you want. I waited. 3 little typing bubbles popped up, and then they disappeared. 5 minutes passed, and then 10. I sighed in relief and shut my phone off. I woke up to 2 more messages from other women. One was named Alyssa, and one was named Jody. My heart began to race. They had messaged me during the night, so it had been 10 minutes before I replied, right? The words scrolled across the backs of my eyes like subtitles. You must reply within 10 minutes of receiving the message. Had I broken that rule? But then again, I wasn't supposed to message back at night, so surely it didn't count. I typed my responses, not bothering to look too closely at the profiles yet, not wanting to psych myself out. Alyssa. Hi. Cooper. Hi. Good morning. Smiley face. Jody. Hello. How are you today? Cooper. Hello. Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you? I tried to match their energy. I made sure to be polite, but I also made sure to say good morning. I couldn't get my heart rate to slow down while I got ready for work. I couldn't get over the dread that I had felt when I thought that I might have broken the rule. I know it probably wasn't real, but what if it was? What would happen to me if I didn't follow the terms and conditions? At work, I got in trouble more than once for checking my phone between waiting tables. I couldn't help it. Even if it was a stupid joke, I didn't want to find out. I only got one message from someone new, someone named Sonny, and I caught it after 8 minutes had already passed since it was sent. I was anxious and restless all day, all the way until it was nearly midnight, when I could finally relax a little. The other girls had messaged me a couple of times throughout the day, and I had replied politely, asking them questions about things that they like to do and places they like to go. Everything really seemed fairly average, besides the very slight hint of stiffness in the way they talked, and the strange qualities about all of their profile pictures. Maybe they really were just well-trained bots. The thought of that made me feel a little better. They probably weren't even real. The only thing out of the ordinary was one message from Alyssa. We're going to take a little break right here, read through what you guys have been saying. I need to see a guy holding a fish to make it realistic? What? Every dating app has one. Never tried a dating app, to be fair, but since I saw a tuna VTuber, I guess I kind of understand. Oh no. Oh no. I cannot relate though. I've never used a dating app either. I've been fortunate so far. Yeah, I hope I never have to. Hope to never use one. Alyssa, would you want to take me out to dinner some night this week? Get something to eat? Now, of course, in normal circumstances, this wouldn't have been a strange thing to say at all, but I remembered it at the last second. Do not offer them anything to eat. I told her I was extra busy that week and just wanted to get to know her first. She had typed for a long time before responding with, "Okay," smiley face. Before I could get to midnight, I said my goodnights and let out a long, shaky breath. I called Josh. "Hey, man, how's it going?" He sounded out of breath. He must have been on his nightly run. I had tried telling him it was crazy to go on runs in the middle of the night, and so had Amya. But he didn't listen. He was a wide, straight, mostly muscular man. He had nothing to be scared of. He was invincible. This app is really stressful, dude. I laid back in my bed, closing my eyes. It's taken a lot out of me. I heard Josh on the other end laugh, slightly choppy and still breathless. Don't take it too seriously. Like I was saying, it could definitely just be some movie promotion or something. Also, you'll get used to it. I have. Yeah? I trailed off. Have you talked to Amya? A little. Why? I'm just worried about her. She's been so out of it lately. Yeah, we should do something for her, man. Like, plan something. I couldn't help but smile. The three of us had been inseparable since freshman orientation. When we had been put in a group, I had thought it wouldn't last, that it would just be a case of freshman friend group, but it had. I felt lucky to have found both of them in such a big school in such a big area. Yeah, we should. Let's hang out tomorrow. Sure thing. I went to bed that night feeling a little bit better and a little less anxious. I woke up to a ton of messages, a couple of new ones, but mostly pages of ones from the girls I'd already spoken to. Honestly used one, and I get it, my DMs were dry, and this one guy was too flirty. Christian dating app, fair. I remember, my dad, when I was a kid, using some Christian dating app. That's actually how we met my stepmom. Weird. It's a very weird relationship they have, but we are not going to get into that. Remember when I was scrolling through the VTuber models? Tuna Man? Oh, yes, I see, so. What's up, Fallen? Or Red? How are you? Please don't ban me. No risk of it? Okay, lady. Hello, no, I promise. And welcome back, Ken. Welcome back. How's everyone's day? Mine's not bad. I started a little bit weird, but we're back on track. Just reading some stories, reading some spoopy stories today, and chilling out, having some fun chats with everyone. The emotes are cute. The emotes are from Etsy. Everything, well, the model and the emotes are from Etsy. If I ever get okay at doing art, maybe I'll make some of my own. I'm not sure. I do have 3 that I want to make. And yeah. Well, we'll see how well that goes, though. I have a feeling it's not going to go great. But, weird how, bad weird. Just one of those days, you know? One of those days. Everything's fine, though. Everything's good. When is my next stream? It's if you follow me on Blue Sky, I have a post pinned at the top. Every day, you can pretty much count on me being here starting at 9. It's 9 a.m. EST, Monday through Friday. I think I've just typoed it too. I forgot to throw the throw the S on it. That's on me. Yeah. But that's GG, right? Thank you, lady. I appreciate you. Very sweet. I'm deliberating, but if I remember to do the joke I want when I come in next time, oh no. Should I be concerned? We'll get back to the story, though. Alyssa. So all these texts are going to be from Alyssa. I'm not going to say her name every time. Culper. Don't go to bed. Talk to me, Culper. I miss you. Can I come over? I'm moving soon. Could you help me move? You could make me dinner. Cooper, wake up. I'm all alone. And I'm cold. It's so cold. I shivered. I didn't even bother reading through the other messages, just responded with a good morning and apologized for not responding the night before. I was sure this app wasn't for me. The next few days went by without much of a hitch. The girls on the app were creepy, but they seemed harmless, and I was careful to follow all of the rules. I kept telling myself that even if these girls freaked me out, they weren't even the ones I would end up with if this app worked. I would meet someone who was perfect for me very, very soon, and then I could delete it and forget about it forever. I would give it another week or so. Then I was going to give up. That was until Josh came into my job on a Wednesday and I saw him waiting outside the break room, his face pointed down, wringing his hands anxiously. The first thing I noticed was that he had no hat on. The second thing was that he was crying. What's wrong? I asked him, frowning and looking over. Is everything okay, dude? He shook his head, finally looking up and meeting my eyes. I saw horror in them, and then some other emotion that I hadn't seen from him maybe ever. Amia is missing, Cooper. She's gone. One thought struck me all at once. The first stupid thought I had. Did she download it too? Everything after that felt like a huge gray blur. My manager gave me the day off work and I went with Josh, following him to the police station. I sat in their gray room and answered their questions. I tried not to cry when they told me that her roommate had reported her missing after she hadn't seen her for over 24 hours. I tried not to panic when they told me her roommate had also found the window broken that morning and some blood staining the carpet. But there was no body down on the ground, no other traces of anything. I felt so guilty. I should have texted her more. I should have been calling and checking in on her. I just had been so distracted by work and by the stupid app. The only thing keeping us from rolling into suicide is the lack of a body, a female cop told me, clearly trying to be gentle. She placed her hand on my arm. Her roommate tells us she's been going through a breakup. I felt myself fill with pain, searing rage. Amia wouldn't do that. I looked the cop in the eyes, trying to make eye contact burn. I promise. I could tell she didn't believe me. I stayed over at Josh's place. We both shuffled around like zombies, basically communicating only through either grunts or acknowledgments or shaky, quiet conversations about any updates. There were none to talk about. I completely forgot about the app. I forgot about it until about a week after she had disappeared. My phone had been buzzing nonstop the entire week, but most of the time, it had entirely shut off. Some of my messages had been from my family, Amia's family, and our classmates and friends. And some had been from the stupid app, but I couldn't bring myself to reply to many of them at all. Then I got a notification that caught my eye. Amia. Hi, Cooper. It took me longer than I'd like to admit to realize what I was looking at. At first I thought that it was a text message, and my heart soared up into my throat. And then I realized it was the app. When I opened it up, I was bombarded with messages, both from new people and old ones. The old fear I felt about the app began to resurface, bubbling up like bile. Alyssa. Cooper, I'm coming over. I can come over now. I know where you are. Can I come over? Answer me, Cooper. I'm going to come over. Jody. Meet me. Please meet me. Please meet me. Now. Now. In. Sunny. Cold. I ignored all of them despite the horrible sick feeling in my gut. I opened the one from Amia. I looked at her profile picture. It was her. It was a picture of her I had never seen before. It was dark outside and taken with flash. Her hair was down, falling around her face in a way that she couldn't stand. Her chin tilted a little to the side. She was smiling in the way that the first girl was. Wrong. Stiff and strange and wrong. That wasn't her smile, and those weren't her eyes. They were far too dull, and very slightly pointing in different directions. Copper. Amia, is that really you? Are you okay? The three bubbles popped up, then disappeared, then popped up again. I stood up, beginning to pace. Should I call Josh? Should I call the police? Was this some sort of sick joke? Finally, my phone buzzed. Amia, I am near your home. I started to cry. I couldn't help it. I wanted to throw my phone. I wanted to break it. Where are you? What happened to you? 10 feet. I stared at the message. I feel like my vision was going out. 10 feet from where? It's cold here. I swallowed hard. It felt like swallowing rocks. Thank you for your interest, but I am not open at this time. I wish you luck in finding what you want. 6 feet, cold, and dark. I knew what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to lock the doors and the windows, get to the high ground, and call customer support. But I couldn't. All I could do was stare. stare at my phone, had her messages frozen like a deer in headlights, and the headlights were coming so fast. I couldn't see or breathe or think. And she was typing again, and as my phone buzzed, my blood ran completely cold. It was 1:56 a.m. No one was there, no one but me and whatever it was. Wasn't even sure if I could stop shaking enough to call the police, and I definitely couldn't hide, not then. And I had broken nearly all of the rules. Let me in, Cooper. I have to show you where it took me. I finally managed to hide, and I'm hiding now in my attic. I can hear it down there, dragging itself from room to room. My phone is going to die, and none of my calls will go through, but I had to write this down. I had to tell someone. Josh, have you read this? I hope you're okay. I hope you followed the rules. I don't know where Amia is, but that's not Amia. And if you see me again, I'm not sure it'll be me either. I'm sorry. It's typing again. I've broken one last rule. I didn't delete the app. Wish me luck. That wasn't bad. That was an okay story. I liked it. And I thought I had a nice little direction. It was a little spoopy, a little goopy, a little cool. Thank you for that, Bad Ivy. Very appreciated. Let's see. Here's another one in a similar vein. I don't know why. There's something about it. I like kind of stories like that. It's not like, generally I go for sci-fi, but I guess when it comes to horror, maybe that's, I think when it comes to horror stuff, I think I like more of the psychological horror, not necessarily like your slasher stuff. It leaves a bigger impact, if that makes sense. I don't know. They're fun to read, probably not to live out. Anyway, this one is titled, My Entire Town is Obsessed with an App Called Mimic. Let me again check on any jobs. Do I do this periodically? Yeah. And I'm good for now. The perf with the reverb is magical. Is it? Okay. Let me get a tiny sip of water. My throat's starting to get dry. Such a smart guy. If someone you know is talking about Mimic, please don't let them download it. This all started when my family moved to the small logging town in the Pacific Northwest about a month after my parents' messy divorce. To put it bluntly, my dad found nudes on my mom's phone from multiple guys in our town. She met them through various dating apps and it destroyed them. He packed me and my little brother up and moved as far away from old life as possible. It's one of those foggy mountain towns where everyone knows your business and the biggest excitement is usually the high school making it to regionals. Dad developed this intense hatred of technology after everything that happened. No smartphones, no social media, barely even letting us use his old laptop. As long as it's for homework, he'd say sternly. And I get it, his world fell apart because of what he found on the phone. But it made fitting in at our new school basically impossible. My first day, I noticed something that struck me as odd. Almost every student was wearing the exact same style of flannel shirt. Rolled up sleeves at the elbow at this very specific way that looked almost ritualistic. They even tied their shoelaces in these elaborate flower-shaped knots that must have taken forever to master. "It's from Mimic," explained Jenny. She was assigned to be my hallway buddy for the first day of school. While her mood was chipper, she had this distant look in her eyes, like she was thinking about something else entirely while talking to me. "Everyone's doing it. You should totally get the app." "I don't have a phone." She stared at me like I told her I didn't have lungs. "That's weird. How do you keep up with anything?" That afternoon in the cafeteria, I felt an uneasy pit in my stomach form as I watched the other kids. Most of the students were eating their lunch in perfect synchronization. They take a bite, chew exactly 7 times, swallow, then repeat. After every swallow, they would look at each other and laugh. Like there was some hilarious inside joke that only a few of us weren't in on. The entire room moved like this hive mind. The sounds of coordinated chewing echoed off the walls. When I asked my lab partner about it, he just gave me the same empty smile Jenny had given me earlier and said, "Mimic challenge, you wouldn't understand." My reputation for being phoneless was spreading like a virus. My little brother Danny started complaining constantly at home. "Everyone in school thinks I'm a freak. They all have phones and I'm the only kid without one. I can't do any of the challenges or trends. I just sit alone at lunch while everyone stares at me." But Dad wouldn't budge. Every time Danny brought it up, Dad would get this look in his eyes and change the subject. I understood his trauma, but watching my 11-year-old brother become more isolated every day was heartbreaking. The challenges I observed at school started innocently enough. Kids would whisper about hashtag Flannel Friday and hashtag 7 by Challenge and hashtag Flower Not Tuesday. Weird and robotic, but harmless. I figured it would blow over like every other social media trend. Then came hashtag Devious Licks. I was sitting in Mr. Frederick's biology class taking notes on metamorphosis when I felt something wet and warm slide across the back of my neck. I spun around to find Keith grinning at me with his tongue still slightly hanging out of his mouth. "Got you," he whispered, like we were playing some perverted game of tag. "What the hell is wrong with you?" "Devious Licks challenge. You're supposed to laugh now. I got you." But I didn't laugh, and everyone around us glared intensely towards the interaction, most of their phones out. I was half expecting someone to stand up for me and call out his disgusting behavior. But even the teacher started to chuckle as he lifted his phone camera towards my direction. "You got you good." Within hours, students were creeping up behind each other everywhere. During lectures and hallways at lunch tables, the wet sound of tongues on necks became as common as locker door slamming. The most disturbing part wasn't the licking itself. It's how the victims reacted. They dissolve into these manic fits of laughter. Like getting licked by a stranger was the most hilarious thing that's ever happened to them. Next up was rib tickle. A sudden horror as students began jabbing pencils, pens, even sharpened wooden rulers into each other's sides during class. Instead of crying out or asking for help, the victims would double over in hysterical laughter as blood pooled underneath their shirt, creating a bloom of crimson in the cloth. "You got me. You totally got me," They'd wheeze, their eyes bright with joy. The teachers never tried to stop them. I noticed most of them checking their phones more frequently, scrolling through something with a distant expression and snarled lip. Things got worse at home too. Dad had been drinking more since the move, and Danny's constant complaints about not having a phone were wearing on everyone. Last Thursday night, it all came to a head. Danny was whining again about being left out at school, about needing a phone to fit in. Dad had already downed his fourth beer for the night, and I could see his jaw getting tighter with each complaint. So what do you want a phone for, huh? He thrust himself out of the rocking chair, suddenly exploding, his voice slurring. So you can send pictures of yourself to half the girls in school. Dad, I tried to intervene. Not can, yeah. Not can, yeah. What's up, buddy? Welcome in. He whipped around to face me, his eyes wild and unfocused. Don't dad me. What about you? I bet you're just dying to post little videos for all the boys on Mimic like your classmates, aren't you? The room went dead silent. Dad's face turned white as he realized what he had said. He paused for a moment, his mouth struggling to form the words his brain desperately wanted to say. And after another moment, he stormed off to his room without another word, leaving Danny in tears and me wondering how the hell my dad knew about Mimic. Also, just want to point out, really? 4 beers and that's... That one? What reality is this? Not in my America, buddy. I left for school the next day without giving my dad so much as a glance. He let out a weak hi as I walked down the stairs, but I didn't want to hear anything he had to say right now. I childishly held up my hand to cover the left side of my face, obscuring my peripheral view of him. I couldn't even look at him. I don't have a high tolerance, though, so I don't think. A group of kids cornered me after the last period, led by Jenny and a few others I'd seen around. They all had their phones out, with that same vacant look in their eyes that I had been seeing for weeks. We can't let you stay disconnected anymore, Jenny said in a voice that didn't quite sound like hers. You need to see what you're missing. I struggled as 2 boys from grade above mine grabbed my arms and pinned me against the lockers. What are you doing? I screamed. Jenny retorted, It's for your own good. Do you really want to be an outcast your entire life? I scanned the hallways desperately for anyone that could help. I froze when I spotted Mr. Frederick peeking around the corner with a vicious smile on his face. Drool dripped down the corner of his mouth, vibrating slowly as if he was giggling uncontrollably. He was recording me with his phone. Jenny lifted up her phone to my face and I closed my eyes instinctively. The glow from the screen was ungodly bright and pierced through my eyelids. I felt their cold, rough hands grab my face, reaching for my eyelids. It took everything in my power to resist their slimy fingers as they began to pull the skin down below my eyes. Sharp fingernails began to dig into my cheeks and forehead as I screamed in agony. I couldn't resist anymore. I opened my eyes, and my brain couldn't immediately process what I saw. It was both beautiful and horrific at the same time. I found myself shifting through emotions as if they were on a conveyor belt in my body. Intense pleasure, followed by seething anger, followed by guilt and loathing, writhing shapes that hurt to look at, colors that didn't exist, sounds that came through the screen and burrowed into my skull like living things, scratching their way out from the inside. I felt my consciousness start to fray at the edges, reality unraveling into the abyss. I passed out. I woke up hours later on the bathroom floor with a bloody nose and a splitting headache. The school was eerily empty, even for 4 p.m. My head was spinning. As I walked down the deserted hallways, I finally noticed their disheveled state. Toilet paper splattered with a dark red fluid hung from the ceilings draped over the lockers. Most of the classroom doors now featured different strange symbols painted on the windows. They hurt to look at. I headed for the exit and tripped over a pair of jeans left on the floor. I looked and saw multiple piles of clothes scattered throughout the school. I just wanted to go home. When I arrived, there was a wrapped box on the kitchen counter with a note in Dad's handwriting. Sorry I was so hard on you kids. I love you both. Love, Dad. I opened the box to find a brand new phone sitting on a silk pillow. My heart sank to my stomach as I noticed an empty space next to it. There was only one phone in the box, but the note said both. I ran upstairs to Danny's room and shoved open the door. It was empty. A pile of his clothes on the floor with something etched into the hardwood beneath them. Symbols that made my eyes water when I tried to focus on them, drawn in what looked like blood. Danny was gone. That was 2 days ago. Dad hasn't come home since that night. I've been alone in this house. Afraid to leave. Afraid to stay. Sometimes I hear Danny's voice calling my name through the speaker of my new phone. There we go. There we go. What a nice little story. I think all the stories we read today was actually pretty good. Good as good. You know what? I suppose that's true. Good as good. Profound. Okay. I imagine it's probably in Finnish. But they might humor us with English. But my dear friend Isla is doing a collab with some other FinTubers, Copper, Kaiku, and our very own Iyumi. So I think we're gonna go right over there. Today's been fun, and I will see you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. EST.